don't know what set him off, Dr. Sinclair. One minute we were fine, the next minute he was yelling at me and trying to hit me. Aggression is one of the most heartbreaking experiences that a care partner can go through. I do want to give a bit of hope though, care partners, in that aggression is often not random and can be managed. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through my 4-step calm protocol to help you de-escalate aggressive behaviors, stay safe, and prevent future outbursts from occurring. I'm also going to link that 4-step calm protocol checklist down below, so be sure to grab that in the description. For those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist and dementia care specialist. So let's jump on in. Let's discuss why aggressive behaviors happen in dementia, and then I'm going to walk you through using the 4-step protocol to help you de-escalate that aggressive behavior. Let's go. Aggressive behaviors don't come out of nowhere, even though it feels that way. When a loved one lashes out with hitting or pushing or kicking, it's not that they've suddenly become a bad person. That something that's gone wrong could be pain or discomfort, frustration from not being understood, fear from confusion or overstimulation, as well as feeling rushed or forced into doing something that they don't want to do. When we can view aggression not as your loved one being a bad person, but viewing it as a distress signal, a sign that they're calling out for help, it allows you to take it less personally and begin to respond intentionally. Now, I know this is easier said than done, and that's why it's going to take a lot of practice. That is why I'm creating a video like this, to arm you with the skills that you need to be able to respond intentionally. Now let's walk through the calm protocol together so that you can do just that. When aggression happens, care partners, you need to stay calm, hence the name calm protocol. I know that's easier said than done, but if you raise your voice, if you threaten your loved one, that could possibly escalate the situation. So step 1 in the calm protocol is C, considering the triggers instead of reacting. As you're considering the triggers, I want for you to reflect on what might have triggered the behavior. Ask yourself, who was present when my loved one became aggressive? Was it only me? Was there someone else? What happened just before this aggressive behavior? Where did it take place? When did it happen? So for example, care partners, are you noticing a time of day, a pattern of when your loved one is becoming aggressive? Why it helps. Identifying triggers, care partners, allows you to now get the power back. What do I mean by that? Let's say that you've identified noise, loud noise, as a trigger. Let's say that the TV is often too loud, or when the grandkids are over, your loved one gets particularly aggressive or agitated. By identifying noise as the trigger, then you have the power to create a quieter environment for your loved one. Or your loved one can be in a room with nice calming music when the grandkiddos are over, away from that stimulation. You can regain the power by identifying what those triggers are. Aggression isn't random. It's usually communication. As I mentioned before, it could be communicating pain or discomfort. It can be communicating fear because they're confused or overstimulated. It can be communicating frustration at the fact that you're not able to understand them or understand their needs anymore because they're not able to communicate their needs to you. So aggression is rooted in all of these variables, care partners. So as you're assessing the cause, consider if the behavior could be related to a medical issue. For example, pain. Could your loved one with dementia be arthritic? Could they be hungry and losing that ability to communicate that to you? Could it be side effects of a new medication or medication effects in general? Could it be their high blood pressure? Could it be their insulin need? Okay, think of some of those medical triggers that could be leading to this aggressive behavior. As we start to explore underlying causes, I also want you care partners to think of cognitive issues. So, could there be confusion, slower processing speed, memory loss? Okay, if your loved one is having a slower processing speed, that means that their brain is going slow. So as you're doing something with your loved one with dementia, you probably think you're going at a pace that's comfortable for them, but your loved one likely is feeling confused and therefore agitated. There can also be emotional experiences that lead to aggressive behavior. Sometimes your loved one is anxious or sad or scared, and again, they've lost the ability to communicate that. There's also environmental causes of aggressive behaviors. That could be the lighting, it can be noise, it can be temperature. Why does this help care partners? Well, as I've mentioned before, aggressive behaviors leaves cues. And so the typical variables that lead to aggression is that it could be medically related. Your loved one with dementia probably has an infection or illness brewing. Or it can be emotional. They're sad and anxious and they've lost that ability to communicate that with you. Or it could be cognitive changes. So their brain is changing the way that they're interpreting the world, and therefore they're getting more aggressive with you because they can no longer interact with the world properly. And then there's environmental challenges and variables, which means that it's overstimulating or understimulating. Maybe they're too bored. Okay, so as we assess the causes, we want to rule out those 4 conditions first, because we know from data, we know from research that these are typically the culprits that lead to aggressive behaviors. So for example, if you notice that your loved one starts pacing back and forth, they could be in pain, they can be uncomfortable, and they're not able to communicate that to you. Maybe they need to go to the bathroom. Maybe it's late afternoon and they've been tolerating their arthritic pain all day and they just can't anymore. So pacing is often a sign of anxiety or agitation or discomfort. So now that you know how to start looking for those patterns, care partners, it puts the power back in your hands. Care partners, if this is resonating with you, then please go ahead and comment below. Or if you know a care partner who's struggling in silence, then please share this video with them. I know from working with countless caregivers that there's shame that comes about from a loved one with dementia becoming aggressive. And while there shouldn't be shame, I know that there just is. So if you know that there's a care partner who is struggling, then please go ahead and share this video with them, share the calm protocol with them so that they can be just as successful. Now let's move on to the next step. In our 3rd step, care partners, the L, listening and leading with compassion. Here, you want to validate or acknowledge the experience that your loved one is going through. Now, I can hear you already. Dr. Sinclair, you want me to validate that this experience is okay? That's not what validate means, care partners. Validate means you want to acknowledge the reason that your loved one is upset. If you know. So for example, you can say, I can see that you're upset right now. Oh no, I can see that maybe I went too fast for you right now. Oh no, I can see that you're angry. How can I help? Is there something that I can help you with? Do I need to slow down? Those are ways that you can validate your loved one with dementia without agreeing that this behavior was okay. When your loved one is getting aggressive, care partners, remember their brain is now struggling. It's a distress signal. So you want to be able to say to your loved one with dementia, I'm here to help. I see the signal loud and clear, and I'm here to help with that. That's what validating means, care partners. So language like, I understand you're feeling upset. I went too fast for you. I'm here with you. Let's sit down and discuss this. What can I do to help? That's language that can validate and acknowledge what your loved one is going through. Why it helps? Well, care partners, when you listen to your loved one's experiences, there are clues there. It helps you to respond to the needs. Remember, it's the unmet needs that they're struggling with. When you can listen for those clues without judgment and appear to be a supportive force, then your loved one with dementia, that tension is going to be lowered. Just think for a moment, if you were upset about something and someone came over in a very reassuring way and said, let's talk it through together, let me help you, let's sit down over some tea and chat, you're going to feel supported. Odds are you're not going to attack that person because you're feeling their love, their compassion. So instead of yelling at your loved one with dementia to stop shouting at me, you're shouting at them to stop shouting, right? I know, care partners, I know. So instead of yelling at your loved one with dementia to stop shouting, maybe guide them into the kitchen. Let's sit down and talk. I went too fast for you. I'm really sorry. I want to understand what's happening for you. Okay? One of my clients, I remember she came up with a mantra that she had to tell herself. When emotions are high, I need to keep my tone low. Maybe you have to come up with a similar mantra, care partner, just to help you stay calm and validating. Step 4 is M, make a plan, a proactive plan. We are no longer going to be reactive, care partners. You are now going to be proactive. You are going to take all of the data that you accumulated in those first 3 steps, and now you're going to make a plan, because what you've learned here today is that aggression carries with it patterns. You didn't know that before. Now you're going to be looking for the patterns. You're putting all of that together. You are considering the triggers. You are assessing those 4 possible causes. You are listening with compassion. And so now you put the 3 steps together, and now you're going to create a plan. At the core of this plan is thinking, how can I avoid that behavior in the future? And so that might mean adjusting your routine. If you were giving your loved one with a dementia a bath in the evening, and that's when they're more exhausted and fatigued and getting aggressive with you, then maybe let's adjust the time of day that you're doing the behavior. Maybe that also means you've noticed that, again, if noise is a trigger for your loved one, that we're going to have a quiet environment for them. Maybe it's also at certain times of days that your loved one gets triggered. So we're going to adjust the routine for when they're more energetic. Okay? So this is where you're putting the pieces together, care partners, and you're recognizing what were those pattern clues that I didn't know to look for before, and how can I be proactive with it? Why does this help? Having a proactive plan not only allows for consistency for your loved one with dementia, which is helpful to their brain, but it also puts the control and power back into your hands. Why do I keep going back to you now have the power, you now have the control? Well, I go back to that because when your loved one strikes you, you feel helpless and powerless and out of control. You feel like you're failing when you're not. You just didn't have the formula needed to de-escalate the situation. Now you do, care partners. Aggression doesn't mean you're failing. Aggression means that your loved one with dementia is struggling. They are struggling so bad. So please take advantage of that CALM protocol checklist in the link below. It allows you to print off, have it on your fridge, put it in your handbag, give it to other family members who are coming around your loved one with dementia. Share this knowledge, care partners. And if you find that your loved one is starting to get agitated at a certain time of day, then go ahead and check out my next video on sundowning. That could likely be what's going on with your loved one with dementia. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.